It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Thursday's Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast. Coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia. Sorry about the little delay in getting live there. On this, the 19th day of September, brought to you by Will, U.S., the owner of Scoot Around and Chillie Cruises. Headlines this morning, Royal Caribbean adds plugs to prohibited list. Also today, bar replaced on Prima. Norwegian Cruise Line unveils Norwegian Luna. Itinerary changes on Prima Transatlantic. Harland and Wolff files for bankruptcy, and an update on Skagway, and lots more here this morning at 11 o'clock. Today is National Butterscotch Pudding Day. I like pudding, about any flavor, chocolate, vanilla, banana. I love banana pudding. Butterscotch is fine. Pretty much any kind of pudding. I enjoy that, I guess, about as much as anything other than, well, banana pudding's my all-time favorite, and chocolate chip cookies. But beyond that, I probably would put puddings above cakes and other cookies and pies. But then that's me. All right, so we got a lot of ground to cover this morning. And just to keep everybody updated, tomorrow, who knows? I have no idea if and when, where, why, or what will happen for this show. I'm going to roll out of here somewhere in the vicinity of 1:30 in the morning. Drive to Richmond. Should be parked and have my scooter unloaded in time for the folks to get to the train station about 5:30. And I will get on the train. I think the train takes off at 6:10 or something like that. Oh, dark 30 in the morning. On my way to Boston. So I got to do some catching up on things like clam chowder, and lobster rolls, and yeah, hot air time's gotten way ahead of me on that this last 2 weeks. But I'm looking forward to get out of the house. I did get out and run some errands yesterday. I'm still weak. I feel okay other than the weakness, but the breathing treatments are just, I did one yesterday and it made me cough all afternoon, to the point that by last night I was hoarse again. Well, then when I slept okay, my voice was okay this morning. I put it through its paces this morning getting the show ready. So I'm getting a little scratchy again. But my belief is that's from the breathing treatments, not from the leftover from the pneumonia. So, all right, so what we're going to do this morning, before we get started here, let's take a quick break from one of our network sponsors. Now, a lot of you may not care about this story, but it is of vital importance to me. That's why it's the lead story today. Royal Caribbean has recently updated its prohibited items list to include multi-plug outlets, an item many travelers often bring along to ensure they have adequate space to plug in a range of cell phones, tablets, hair tools, and other electrical items. For me, that list includes charging my wheelchair, my portable oxygen unit, my computer, and my phone. These are necessities for me to stay alive, maneuver on the ship, and manage my business. Multi-plug outlets are specifically forbidden and listed under the potentially flammable items on the cruise line's prohibited items list. Similar items on the list include extension cords and power strips. I have sent the following message to Royal Caribbean Special Needs Coordinator. Hi, Ron. I am very concerned about today's news. Royal Caribbean has recently updated its prohibited items list to include multi-plug outlets. I travel with a strip-type surge protector. In my accessible stateroom, I must be able to charge my wheelchair, charge the battery on my portable oxygen unit, plus my computer and phone so I can do my shows and work remotely. If I can't cover these basic needs, I can't travel with Royal Caribbean. Thanks, Chillie. I will advise when I hear back from the coordinator. In today's weather, we have two systems to look at, plus the possibility of a third. An area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms located over the central subtropical Atlantic is associated with the remnants of Gordon. Some development of this system is possible while it moves generally northward over the next several days. Further formation chance over 48 hours is low at 20%. Over 7 days, it jumps up to 30%. An area of low pressure located about 750 miles southeast of Bermuda is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear only marginally conducive, but some development of the system is possible while it meanders over the open waters of the central or western subtropical Atlantic through early next week. Over the next 48 hours, it's low at 10%, but it jumps up to 20% chances of formation through the next 7 days. A broad area of low pressure could form by early next week over the western or northwestern Caribbean Sea. Thereafter, gradual development of the system is possible, and a tropical depression could form as the system moves slowly to the north or northwest over the northwestern Caribbean Sea and into the southern Gulf of Mexico through the middle of next week. Virtually 0% chance for the next 48 hours, but 40% chance over the next 7 days. That's a look at today's weather. Just an update on an earlier Skagway story. Yesterday, the New Amsterdam also canceled its visit to Skagway due to weather, so there have been no ships in Skagway this week. We just had a substantial price drop on the cruise with Chillie Miami to Southampton cruise on the Norwegian Bliss, which sails January 4th, 2025. Transatlantic for 13 nights. The current pricing as of today, studio cabins for solos start at $834.10. Inside cabins for double occupancy start at $934.10 per person. Those includes taxes and port charges. This is a 13-night transatlantic cruise with stops in Ponta Delgado, Lisbon, Vigo, and Le Havre before arriving in Southampton on the 17th of January. Join us on the Bliss Transatlantic, cruising from Miami. Call me, 434-258-9264. See ya on the Bliss. Norwegian Cruise Line has reached out to guests booked on the October 28th departure of Norwegian Prima to alert them to just such work to be carried out during their 10-night Greek Isles sailing. The email explained, as part of our commitment to continuously offer extraordinary vacation experience for our guests around the world and to uphold a consistent world-class product across our fleet, Norwegian Prima will be undergoing some enhancements during your cruise. The Speedway bar will be converted into an all-new entourage, offering teenagers aged 13 to 17 a dedicated area to meet and engage with others their age. The Speedway bar is located on Deck 18, adjacent to the 3-level Prima Speedway go-kart track and near the entrance to high-speed slide The Drop, as well as the ship's miniature golf course, Tea Time, and the Bullseye high-tech dart boards. Following the great success of Norwegian Prima and Norwegian Viva, as well as the great anticipation for the upcoming Norwegian Agua, Norwegian Cruise Line has revealed the next ship in the innovative class, the Norwegian Luna. The new ship will set sail from March 2026, home porting from Miami, offering 7-night Caribbean sailings to both the Eastern and Western Caribbean. Already under construction at the Fincantieri shipyard in Italy, Norwegian Luna will be a twin sister ship to Norwegian Aqua, first in the Prima Plus class. The ship will be 10% larger both in overall size and guest capacity than Norwegian Prima and Norwegian Viva, and will offer the same stunning architecture and elegance the guests have come to expect from the outstanding class design. The ship's overall artful design, from her hull art to her interior spaces, reflects the moon and tides in a wistful, ephemeral way. The hull art is richly colored in blue, teal, and purple tones, reflecting lunar imagery, complete with a full moon on the ship's bow. The art is designed by Elle, a highly acclaimed street artist whose work includes underground graffiti as well as collaborations with Reebok, Samsung, and IKEA. Unique sailings are particularly popular based on their ports of call and how infrequently such cruises may be offered. Such is the case with Norwegian's Prima's spring 2025 transatlantic cruise from New York to Southampton, as the ship repositions to spend the summer in Europe. The 14-night one-way cruise originally included 7 ports of call, including an overnight visit to Reykjavik, not a bad ratio of port days for such a long sailing that crosses roughly 3,700 miles of ocean. Now, however, booked guests have been informed that the itinerary has been adjusted and 2 of the ports of call are now canceled. The ship will no longer visit St. Pierre and Miquelon off the coast of Newfoundland on Wednesday, April the 30th, nor visit St. John's, Newfoundland on Thursday, May the 1st. This means that the ship's first 6 full days of the cruise, 5 will now be spent at sea, with just a single call in Halifax, Nova Scotia, to break up the sea days on the second full day of the cruise. To help compensate for the now canceled ports of call, Norwegian Prima has slightly extended her time both in Halifax as well as her overnight visit to Reykjavik. The British shipbuilder Harland and Wolff, renowned for construction of the Titanic, has entered administration after failing to secure sufficient funding. Basically, the company's filed for bankruptcy. The company, which also constructed warships for the UK government, announced on September 16th that it will begin administrative proceedings, a process akin to bankruptcy in the United States, enabling restructure rather than liquidation. Harland and Wolff applied for a GBP $200 million loan from UK Export Finance, which was declined, leaving the firm unable to meet its financial obligations. Despite the crisis, the company has confirmed that core operations, including its historic Belfast shipyard, will continue. The yard is currently engaged in constructing 3 Royal Naval vessels, and efforts are underway to explore a potential sale of these operations alongside a search for further funding. The British government has stated it is actively seeking solutions to protect jobs and find a path forward for the shipbuilder, but concerns over taxpayer risk have led to a refusal to provide financial aid. With its unique blend of history and modern charm, Boston is one of America's most iconic and visited destinations. Explore this extraordinary city in comfort with a scooter or wheelchair rental from Scootaround. All Boston mobility rentals are 10% off until September 30th. Call Scootaround toll-free at 1-888-441-7575 or reserve online. Use code BOSTON10 or SRN 11137 for the best rates. A scooter or wheelchair in Boston. Call now. All right, so if you have the sale in Boston, Scootaround sale and wheel power chair sale lasts until the end of the month. So if you're going to be in Boston in the next week and you have a scooter or a wheelchair and you're running around Boston, who knows, you might run into me. That's where I'm going to be too, my wheel power chair. Speaking of Boston, Hot Air Tom and Kenneth were in Portland yesterday. I had a big screwed up mess with Portland and trying to get their customs stuff done. So, and these could be out of order, but I know at one time there was so much involved for Hot Air Tom. And then they were going on the small gauge railroad for a train ride. This is the station for the main narrow gauge. It's narrow gauge railroad. And that's the train itself. And let's see. This would be the first.
This is the 3 o'clock train. So you get to see this in operation, Chillie, that they have a last minute booking. Somebody just ran into the terminal to get tickets, and one lady's in a wheelchair, so we'll get to see this in operation. So they opened the door there. That was a really quick ticket sale.
Yeah, she can be pretty quick when the line is low. Just enough time.
They even have a lift for your chair, so
You're welcome. Not for this train. Don't catch the next one. That will be at 4.
hand crank. Oh boy.
I don't know about hand cranking for a big fat guy like me.
There we go. Perfect. Always one crank too high or one crank too low.
That was pretty cool.
All aboard!
All right, so let's see. That'd be Kenneth. Of course, that's Hot Air Tom. And that's where I'm supposed to be, where Kenneth is sitting. So, anyway, I'm not there, unfortunately. So the train takes off.
Seated in one of the enclosed coaches or the caboose next to a glass window pane, it is very important that you keep your fingers, hands, and arms inside the train and not under the window. Federal regulations prohibit the use of any smoking or vaping devices of any kind on railroad property. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy your 40-minute round-trip ride on the main narrow gauge railroad.
Tickets!
Not yet.
The tracks on which we ride were formerly used by the Grand
Anyone
Trunk
else in the car?
Railway, a standard
Anybody
gauge
else
train
here?
that ran from Portland all the way up to Montreal,
Is there
Canada.
anybody else here?
From the 1840s
Yeah,
until the 1980s, trains would roll down this line, carrying passengers and freight between Portland and Montreal and points in between. The Grand Trunk Railroad gave up their line into Portland in 1984 when the bridge over Portland's Back Cove burned down. We'll talk a little more about the Grand Trunk Railway later on in today's
All
train.
aboard.
Whether you're a Portland expert or this is your first time here, our city has hundreds of years of fascinating history. Portland sits on Casco Bay, which is an inlet of the Gulf of Maine. Before the arrival of European settlers, the land had long been populated by the Okasego, Abenaki, and Wabanaki people. The first early European settlers came in 1633, 13 years after the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. The area that we now call Maine was largely settled during the American colonial period. Maine was granted statehood in 1820. Portland became the state's first capital. By 1827, the state legislature voted to make Augusta the state capital because of its central location within the state. Although Portland lost its capital status, it remained the largest community in Maine. To this day, Portland is the economic driver of the state, with Maine's largest port, the largest population, and largest concentration of businesses and industry. Once again, in retaliation for the city's involvement in the Revolutionary War. After rebuilding, Portland burned yet another time with a fire that began on July 4, 1866, on Commercial Street, just down the road from where today's train ride began. Two people died in that fire of 1866, but 10,000 people lost their homes and businesses. Poet and Portland native Henry Wadsworth Longfellow compared the scene to the ruins of Pompeii. Since then, Portland rebuilt itself yet again, stronger than ever. When our train reaches the end of the main narrow gauge railway line, we'll take a pause for a few minutes. You'll have the opportunity to meet the train crew and ask questions about Portland, our history, and even the train on which you ride today. Don't be shy because we love sharing our knowledge. You may also exit the train to take in the view once we come to our stop. Before you stand up, wait for the conductor to announce that it is safe to stand and exit the train. After a few minutes, the conductor will call out, "All aboard," when it's time for us to return to our seats. Relax and enjoy the rest of your ride with us.
All right, that's just a little bit, some of the film clips from Hot Air Tom on the narrow gauge train ride yesterday. I'm sorry I missed that. I enjoy. I enjoy. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to driving all night to get to the train. You know, it's still not all night, but 3 hours worth. Not looking forward to that in the least. So anyway, they get back on the boat just to make me feel bad. Kenneth had a shrimp cocktail. Yeah, that looks awfully good to me. I'm not mistaken. That's probably a steakhouse shrimp cocktail. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. And look at Hot Air, all dolled out in his Scottish kilt. I like this picture. Halifax, Nova Scotia, the Norwegian gym, and Hot Air all dolled up. That's pretty cool, Hot Air. And then he gets an orange juice and puts some of his vodka in it. So now he's in the cabin having screwdrivers. I don't know. Cindy, Hot Air's going to hell on this trip, and I haven't even gotten there yet. We'll see. All right, let's go see who's in the chat room fussing at me today. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Best wishes for safe travel on the train. Hope your break gives you a deserved boost. Yeah, me too. There's Gary, older than dirt. Hey, Gary. Oh, Hot Air's with us. Coming to us from Bahaba. You know, the guy in Portland, you know, he didn't have that normal Maine accent. He sounded very cultured, normal voiced as opposed to how many people sound in Maine. Our high-speed ferry on Sunday has been canceled due to high waves and wind, rescheduled for September 25th. Okay. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, wow, that could be pretty dicey on a high speed. But I'll try it. Todd says, good morning to everybody. There's Joanne. Good morning, Joanne. There's Gretchen. Bob's with us. Have a great day, Chillie. Thank you. Hot Air says, I guess no Royal Caribbean cruises for me. I need several outlets. Yeah, me too. The thing about, how about the guys with CPAPs? You know, you got to be able to get the CPAP to the bed. Sometimes that takes an extension cord. Same thing I like to run my oxygen at night, but I don't want it to run down and run out, so I normally have it plugged in. Yeah, I'd have to if they don't make some kind of changes that would affect people like me with special needs, then I just won't cruise roll again as much as I want to. And that's why I was looking at Royal Cruises yesterday. How about bourbon bread pudding? Oh, I'd jump all over that. Oh, dark 30. Yep, that's what time I got to be there. 6:04. Originates in Richmond. Oh. I didn't realize it actually originated in Richmond. That keeps me having to worry about getting there on time. Jim Bradley's with us. Have a great and safe trip. Thank you, Jimmy. Sonny's here down in Mississippi. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. And I reiterate what he says. There's Steve out in Kentucky. There you go. Gary says, I need an extension cord for my CPAP. Surge protectors are never allowed on ships due to grounding and feedback issues causing a fire hazard. Power strips need to be cruise approved and not surge protected. Maybe that's what I have. It's just a power strip. The surge protectors have the little switch on them, right? Is that correct, or does power strips have a switch too? I don't know. I carry one that's been good on every other ship. I've been on every ship that I've been on. Same one I've been using for what, 5-6 years now, since I started have to do extra things in the cabin, like longer than that. Since I started using scooters, and there for a while, I also got oxygen concentrators. So I had to have those done. But yeah, it's been 10, 11 years now that I've used a strip like that. Royal is banning multi-outlet adapters that are no surge protectors. These were allowed until now. Yeah, I know. But what's that going to do for somebody like me, Katie? You know, I got to charge my chair. I got to keep my oxygen going. I mean, I need things to live in an accessible cabin. And not to mention my computer, my phone. Which ship had a recent fire? I wonder if it was a surge protector. None that I know of. Cindy's with us. Good morning, Cindy. She's getting ready to go to Europe, of course. I would hope they have bugs to give folks like Chillie. Yeah, they got to do something. Ron will respond back to me. Those of you that don't know, Ron Pettit is the special needs coordinator for all of Royal Caribbean. And I actually serve on 2 boards with Ron. Ron gave me his direct number. Anytime I'm on a Royal ship, if I have an issue, I'm to go directly to him with the issue. So, yeah, so we'll see. I'll happily get his response on this. I'll hear from him. It might take a few days, but he'll respond back to me. I guarantee it. Katie says, very cool video, Tom. Train is beautiful, Sonny says. I agree. Sorry I wasn't on it. Cindy says, love the train. Scheduled for a wine train in Dubrovnik, Croatia, in about 2 weeks. That's pretty awesome. Combining 2 great things, Katie says. I agree, Cindy. I agree, Katie. That would be an awesome excursion. Sonny says, what a fun trip. My grandfather was an engineer on the New York Central Railroad. Joanne says, very cool. Trains and wine. Yeah, Katie, I'm right. Well, I'll drink wine. I'm not the greatest wine drinker in the world. Mainly because I just don't know. But I always enjoy wine when we have it. There's certain wines that I really like, and then there's certain wines that I'll drink. I'm not a real, like a dry red. That's a little stout for me. I'm much in the neighborhood of, a sweet white or a Cabernet or a rosé. That's what I really like. Cindy says, what, Katie, so looking forward to this trip. Hot Air says, Tide. Schmidt Cagney's. I thought those looked familiar. Looks like you've had an amazing trip, Tom. Safe travels tomorrow, Chillie. Thank you. Have fun traveling, Chillie, and people watching. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I have 2 things to do today. One is to pack. I haven't packed yet. Well, that's normal for me. So as soon as I get done processing the show, I'll pack, I'll get my brother-in-law to take the suitcase out to my car. And then I'm going to go ahead and load my chair and pull it right up to the front door. So in the morning, I can just, I can walk from my room into the living room, stop and catch my breath, and get from the living room out the front door and into the front seat of the car. So I don't have to mess with loading the dark in the morning. There's a little light from the car. I could turn the car on if I need to and have backup lights. But still, I mean, it's kind of hard to see, to strap it down properly in the dark. I'm doing it all by feel. So I probably will do that today, before I put it in bed and try to get some sleep before I get up, in the midnight vicinity and get started. I got to pack my computer bag and all my chargers and stuff. We'll see. I may take I'm taking a one heavy jacket with me. The red checkered one that I used in Alaska. It's warm. It has a hood in case we're out at night when it's cold. Of course, I'm taking mostly long pants, but I'm also taking a couple pair of shorts too, because the weather on this trip could be in the 50s and 60s at night. It could get up in the 70s during the day. So, I got to have a little bit of both. But in case we get a cold spell or some rain or something, if my suitcase is too heavy, I may just take the coat and roll it up and put it underneath the seat and the chair for the train. I won't do that when it's in the car, on the back of the car driving. But when I, get it unloaded at the train station, I may take my jacket, have it in the car with me, fold it up and put it underneath in the basket, which is where the chargers will be for both my oxygen and my for the air itself. So they'll be in the chair. They're not going to fly away. They're too heavy. So they'll be in the basket underneath the seat. I don't use that basket very much because it's hard for me to get things in and out of it. But for something like the coat, I could put under there and it'd be okay for just getting on the train and sitting on the train for how many hours it's going to take. Cindy says, looking forward to the Chianti in Italy and the Aperol spritzes. I started drinking them. That was the first time I had a Cozumel. Yes, indeed. Chianti, I've had Chianti before. I'll drink Chianti more than I will some of the other dry reds. But I'd rather have something sweeter. So I might have something other than Chianti. But Chianti in Italy is good. So I don't know. I'll have to decide before I get to Italy next year about the wine. All right. That's going to wrap it up today. Again, folks, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? We'll do whatever I can do as I'm going and see about my signal, about being able to use either my computer or my phone, whichever it's going to be. Don't know yet, but we'll see. So, hopefully I'll be on the air somehow, sometime, some way, and maybe multiple times tomorrow on the train trip to Boston. You guys have a day, and I'll see everybody sometime tomorrow. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas or on trains or something cool way to travel. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.